Hey guys, it's Barry here from Barry's Tutoring. Thanks for joining me on another video. Today, I'm going to take you through a typical GAMSAT style question that is text heavy. And the predominant skill that we'll be utilizing here is verbal reasoning. So let's have a look. Okay. So as promised, we've got a text heavy question. Now, the first impulse might be to read all of the stimulus, but I would suggest, in most cases, to go to the question stem. And this is my advice for my students, and also in the GAMSAT crash course and strategy videos that I have. So let's have a look at the question stem. The classification of amino acids as either D or L forms is based on. Okay, what you can do straight away is you can start to look at keywords, and amino acids, for example, pops up quite a lot, but I think something that would be kind of unique to look for would be those capital Ds and capital Ls. They're quite easy to look for. You can see that D and L pop up in the second paragraph as well as the last paragraph quite often. Okay, so that's just something to kind of take note of. So the second paragraph and the last paragraph are probably going to be important. And what we really want to do here is we're trying to figure out how to classify amino acids as either D or L. And we want to finish this sentence with the best statement possible. Okay, so could it be based on their ability or lack of ability to rotate the plane of polarized light? What you can do here is you can stop this video and have a look above. There is no mention of polarized light or rotation or rotate in the stimulus above. So it's probably not the answer. Okay, if you thought that this was the answer, just wait until the end of the video because I'll have a bit of commentary there. But the answer is not actually A. Let's keep on going. So B, their relative rates of reaction with other chiral molecules, or C, their relative rates of reaction with non-chiral molecules. If you have a look, there is some mention of chirality, okay, because you can see that there's either chiral or non-chiral or whatever. So there is some mention about chirality in the second paragraph. In fact, it talks about a central carbon with 4 different groups and that there are 2 non-superimposable mirror forms. So this relies on you having a bit of assumed knowledge though, to recognize that that's talking about chirality. Okay, so there is some kind of evidence that chirality is being mentioned. However, the key thing is, and you can have a look at the text above, there is no mention about relative rates. So what they're trying to talk about here is the speed of reaction of one versus another. Okay, there is no mention about this. So for that reason, it's probably not going to be B or C too. And if you look at D, it talks about a similar classification based on glyceraldehyde. And glyceraldehyde pops up in the last paragraph. Twice, in fact. Okay, now D is actually the answer. Let's have a read and we'll see why. And I'm just going to get rid of this annotation so we can read it a bit more carefully. Remember, the fact that D and L pops up a lot in the 4th paragraph could have been good reason for us to hone in on that and read it. Okay, so let's say we're reading it. Of these 19 amino acids for which enantiomers are possible, those synthesized in human tissue are of the same configuration as L-alanine and correspond to the arrangement of analogous groups in the structure of L-glyceraldehyde. Okay, it's not really saying that much except that L-alanine has similar arrangements or structure as L-glyceraldehyde. Okay, let's keep on reading. The D amino acids are found in bacteria, and these have absolute configurations corresponding to analogous groups in the structure of D-glyceraldehyde. Okay, again, it's not really saying that much. However, both of these are essentially saying that the configurations of amino acids and glyceraldehyde can be very similar. Now, if you read between the lines though, the fact is that you are classifying amino acids as D and L. And you can also classify glyceraldehyde as D and L. And for that reason, you are probably using the same classification. That's kind of enough for you to say that D is the answer, right? Because if you think about it, it's just saying, if we read the question and we were to finish it off with option D, all right? The classification of amino acids as either D or L forms is based on a similar classification based on glyceraldehyde. That is true, okay? We don't actually need to know how to classify amino acids as D and L, but it is probably true that the way that you classify amino acids as D and L would be the same as glyceraldehyde, since you can see that you can classify glyceraldehyde as D or L. Okay, so for a lot of people watching this, they might go, yeah, that makes sense, but I'm not particularly happy with that. And for those who thought the answer was A, I'm going to explain, okay? We chose D because there's evidence for D. It's not the best answer in a lot of people's minds because it doesn't actually say how it's classified. Now, the actual answer could be the classification of amino acids as either D or L forms is based on if they rotate the plane of polarized light clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, so if you actually look this up, or you happen to know, you should know that D rotates things, polarized light clockwise, and L rotates polarized light anti-clockwise. So why is A wrong? Well, if you revisit this statement, it says that their ability or lack of ability to rotate the plane of polarized light. So what they're actually saying, right? So what I've written over here is what D and L actually is. Okay, this is actual. Whoops. This is actual. What it was saying was this: D rotates polarized light, whereas L doesn't rotate. Okay, so that statement is incorrect. It's not that they either rotate or they don't, so that they label it as D or L. Okay, that's why A is wrong. And this is the reason why, if you fell for option A, this is the reason why I often tell people to not rely on their assumed knowledge, okay? Especially if they're not 100% sure. Okay, I like to talk about this as like a fuzzy memory factor, okay? So if you have this fuzzy memory of something, don't rely on it because you might be biased towards certain options which look like they're true, but they might only be half-truths. Okay, so this is a great example. Okay, so if you find yourself going, ooh, I vaguely remember in first year that we talked about D and L and it had something to do with polarized light, you should be very careful. Okay, alarm bells should be ringing because you could easily, just like what the question writer here has done, you could easily include a statement which is kinda true, okay, but there are aspects which are just wrong. Okay, so remember, look for evidence in your stimulus, read the question stem to guide you as to where you should be getting your information from, okay, and hopefully that means you're going to be going through these types of questions more efficiently in future. Okay, thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. And if you want more advice like this and more guidance with your preparation, feel free to check out my courses. I've got the crash course and the strategy videos on my Teachable website. Okay, thanks guys. See you later.